Spooky Roblox stories that will keep you up at night. The best ghost and horror stories have an uncanny ability to make you feel real, believable, and absolutely terrified. They almost promise that you will spend at least one night, if not more, tossing and turning, listening to creaking floors and the sound of ghostly wailing. Naturally, such is the paradox of ghost stories. Your ability to sleep at night will worsen the better they are. This is true even if you are a die-hard supernatural believer. You know, the kind of person who has learned the history of Halloween, isn't frightened to look at some spooky pictures, is familiar with the origins of Halloween monsters, and spends Friday the 13th reading Ouija board tales. In this amazing video, we have made a compilation of short horror stories, but not like any other horror stories. These are some of the most spookiest Roblox stories that will send chills down your spine. So make sure you stay tuned until the end to find out. Also, if you are new to our channel Roblox Portal, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us. So let's get started. 5. Happy. Previously, there was a Roblox game called Happy. When you first start the game, you will notice stickers on the wall depicting spooky smiling characters. You will notice the phrase, "Sad people must die," in certain places. People who were depressed appeared more terrified than depressed. None knew what the game's goal were. Some people responded inappropriately and assumed that this was a hacker gang, although they were completely mistaken. Happy was a test account created by Roblox staff, so it was far bigger than we had anticipated. Thus, unlike John Doe and Jane Doe, participants wouldn't feel lonely when they joined the game. When a Roblox admin logged in, the game became happy. After that, happiness faded into obscurity and was forgotten. When Roblox learned that he had created the game, they fired him. However, nobody was aware that there were actually two Happy accounts with the same name. No one is aware of who created the original game or who is truly Happy. Happy is ultimately no longer a test account. Instead, it is a Roblox virus that is prepared to take control. 4. Easy OB. When I was searching for a game to play on Roblox, I came across Easy OB, Easy OB, Easy OB. When I decided to play another game, I assumed it was a random botted game, but I suddenly was transferred to another game. I assumed it was a hacker who thought they were hilarious, but it just takes me to a simple arcade game. It wasn't even an OB either. Other players were present in the world in the sword fighting game, and they were perplexed as to how they had been transferred here. A game named Welcome to Death would open up when you kill a player. I was so freaking perplexed. I left the game and switched to another, since I couldn't tell if it was a sour game developer or a hacker. Then it returns to me to the simple OB game. At this point, I was enraged and only wanted to play my game. So, like other players, it turns out that Roblox was experimenting with ways to get rid of teleportation hacks. At this point, I'm simply pretty baffled. When I made the decisions to stop playing Roblox because I found it to be too bizarre, I learned that someone had obtained a random admin password, kind of like what they did in the April Fool's hacking in 2012. But I'm so relieved that it was only a teleportation hack and not something worse. 3. The Unlisted. The Unlisted is a clandestine group on Roblox, and after some of its members committed crimes, the website had to unlist them. The exploited community went crazy attempting to verify this rumor when they heard it, but they only managed to locate one account. They were obviously unable to access their games, but one of the group's hackers received odd messages from the user before they began to receive the strange texts themselves. Although from a different account, everyone in the group was confused and believed he was merely playing a practical joke on them. If you're curious about the message posted on that unlisted account, the majority of them simply stated, "We didn't do anything," or "support us." After that, the hackers stopped looking for unlisted accounts. Roblox was notified, and they are now IP banned for accessing a secret corporation. However, one of their accounts appears to be permanently deleted, as if they were removed from the platform. 2. Breakout. I used to be a member of this incredibly popular fighting organization called the Undefined Army, and whatever it means, it was really enjoyable. Up until then, they created the Breakout, a video game. I signed up for it because I thought the role-playing game would be intriguing, but wow, I was mistaken. First of all, with all the monsters and entities, it was obviously a ripoff of SCP. But I didn't really give it much thought because people copy successful games all the time. Moving on to the action in the game, there was a group of individuals preparing for testing, somewhat like a Class D in SCP. Subject 834 and other persons have escaped. Report to the main decks," said the alarm, which didn't go off until it suddenly sounded loud and obnoxious. I was very baffled at this point as to what the main deck even was. Anyway, the guards were ordering us to remain still and to stop moving. As I turned to look, I noticed a second person who appeared pale and heard the sound of coughing. The guard took him into another room despite the fact that he was obviously sick, saying Subject 984 has been infected with virus 983, and he was never seen again. I believe what was happening was that this warring organizations was testing diseases, so they could use those viruses to infect enemies, make them ill, and eventually kill them. It's a strange strategy, but okay. "You come over here." A random guard claimed they brought me into a room and started questioning me about my health. They went shopping and returned with a cart loaded with infectious tubes. I opted to leave the battle group after quitting the game because I was too terrified to play any longer. As far as I know, the result of that game was the permanent closure of their organization. As a result, I stopped affiliating with war organizations. 1. Haze Triel. I had become involved in a game called Be Afraid with my friend Kyle. Kyle had commented on the call just before I joined. I think this was a scary game. I enjoyed all things spooky, so when I joined, I look around. This is an empty game to be terrifying. Kyle had commented when he discovered me in the game. It was one of those spooky elevator games, so I had said, "Yeah, generally the games like these are populated with a bunch of noobs." But this one is a little different. It featured a scene in the game that we found to be quite unsettling. It was an unexpected scene that wasn't in the elevator. It was an eerie white room with a single chair in the center. Kyle had noticed the chamber and asked, "Why is it here? It's not even in the elevator." I remarked, "I don't know, maybe it's just a bug." To which he responded, "Yeah, maybe." The door we had entered was then gone as we prepared to leave the room. When we approached the chair, after scanning the area, someone appeared. We approached the individual and inquired about the locations of the entrance and how he entered. When he initially chose not to respond, we continued to question him until he finally answered, "There is no door. You are stuck with me now." He mumbled something that made Kyle and I feel uneasy, and then a spooky smiley expression appeared on his face. Then the light went out. Kyle and I noticed a group of ominous individuals with cheerful faces when the light came back on. At first, we assumed it was all part of the game, but when we tried to escape, we were transferred to a different game. When we arrived, the same players were already present, and the game was a kind of introduction dubbed Haze Triel's Place. After a few minutes, a girl named Haze Triel joined, and when Kyle and I recognized her, we realized she was the creator. When I asked her for assistance because Kyle and I were still unable to leave, she turned back and stated, "There's no way you're leaving me again." Kyle and I were both frightened, but at the same moment that our laptops shut off, I was still on call. We both became uneasy and tried charging it, but nothing happened. Since that time, I haven't heard or seen anything more about him. Let us know your thoughts on these horror stories in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed watching this video, then please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such exciting videos like this one. See you in the next one!